this little Korala Guitalele today, the polycarbonate version of a guitalele. I've got to say, acoustically, is nowhere near as good as their concert ukulele. It's okay, but it doesn't do the business acoustically as far as I'm concerned. What I expect from an acoustic instrument anyway. But really, we should be looking at it for what it is, not what it's not. I don't think there was any attempt really to get it to be an acoustic instrument. It's designed as an electric instrument, and it's got a volume, a treble control and a bass control on there, and a little compartment there to put a 9-volt battery in, a PP3, that will make the whole electronic thing active. The pickup, I presume, is under the bridge saddle. There's not a lot to say about it as a polycarbonate. Actually, I keep saying a polycarbonate instrument. It's plastic, for God's sake. When I was 14-year-old, I got a 4-string skiffle guitar for Christmas, which was the start of it all. And it was not a million miles away from this. Basically, it was a baritone ukulele, but made of plastic. And I don't know what the difference between polycarbonate is and the old-fashioned perspex type plastic, but they can call it what they like nowadays, I suppose. As far as I'm concerned, the value of this instrument is in the electrics, and what it sounds like when you plug it in, all of a sudden it's a different instrument. You can forget what it looks like, you can even forget what it feels like, because I think it sounds pretty good. So I'm going to do that for you now. Mind you, I must remind you, as I've reminded people for donkey's years, that an electric instrument is only as good as the amp you put it through. So there's no point in buying a cheap guitar like this and putting it through a cheap amp, because it'll just sound like a tin can. But if you spend a decent amount of money on your amp, at least as much as you do on the guitar, it's going to sound okay. I'm putting it through a 25-watt Fender reverb amp, and I've just got a modicum of volume on it. It's not about volume, but I've got plenty of middle on, no treble at all, and a tiny bit of bass, and then it sounds, well, you know, I said a guitar earlier, my tongue slipped earlier because it's got 6 strings and looks like a guitar. We assume it's a guitar, but really it is at ukulele pitch. I always get into trouble for telling people that all my ukuleles are at different pitches, and tenor uke should be pitched at B flat or A. But I must admit, in the case of this, trying to get it to do something acoustically, I've wound the strings up to C. So it is, to all intents and purposes, ukulele pitch. And without doing anything to it, that's what it sounds like. But what can you do to show something like this off to its full advantage? And it always comes down to a bit of blues. Because you see, if I try to play various tunes, all you've got to do is miss one note and you've ruined the whole job. Whereas with blues you can get away with murder, because blues is blues, isn't it? You know, it's just playing about with a scale, with a flattened third and a flattened seventh. So what can we do? We'll kick off with perhaps a little bit of Basin Street and maybe end up a little bit in St. Louis blues. myself. There. Oh, I've lost it. I've lost the plot. Anyway, it seems to do the business for me, even in you know, when I'm in a better frame of mind to get some sense out of it. I hope you can see that it's got a full range here, and tone-wise, and this is what makes the difference with a guitalele. You've got this extra couple of notes that a guitarist has before you get into the ukulele range, and that's what makes all the difference, whether you be playing bass runs or whether you are playing big fat chunky chords. So you might want to have a punt. Take a look for it on eBay. Thanks for looking. Bye now.